Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is October 7th. Thank you so much for finding me and taking some time to join me. It means a great deal. So thank you so much for being here. So, okay, so a couple of interesting things, right? I mean, we've got the second whistleblower making himself known, and that process is starting there. So that's going to be interesting. From what I understand, he has more firsthand knowledge than the original whistleblower. And it is my energetic feeling for sure that we could be looking at least at another 2, if not 3, whistleblower reports coming out. And, it's going to be a trick to stay focused on the bigger picture and to stay focused on what's going to get the goal accomplished. But that's that. We also saw I don't even know what he is. I don't know if he was a senator or whoever he was. I think his name was Johnson. On the Sunday shows yesterday morning, the Sunday morning shows, like literally sacrificing himself at the altar of Trump. Screaming about how he didn't trust the CIA and the FBI, and people were covering up the fact that what happened in 16 was all the Ukrainians' fault. Okay, so there's that crazy going on. So I thought this morning it might just be a good idea to take a wee little bit of an overview and kind of check in on the strategy between what the Democrats are doing and kind of how the Republicans are reacting to it or responding to it. Because in many ways, I mean, they are just, and God knows I have no sympathy for the Republicans because they're a bunch of spineless like twits, okay? Like, it is appalling the way they are selling the country out for their own political aspirations. I mean, truly appalling. I think that Johnson guy's looking for a cabinet position. That's what I think. Okay, so I thought I would kind of do a little bit of a comparison between the two parties and kind of how they are doing right now. How's it going? Check in. So I want to start with the Democrats. So come on down because I have a question. Okay, so the question is current Democratic strategy. Lovely. Okay. All right. So these first cards are telling us sort of a quick overview. So they have the good energy. They have the facts. They have everything falling into place behind them to allow that wish to be fulfilled, that promise to be realized. So they're in a very, very strong position. And these cards are literally telling us pretty much the whole story of what's going on behind the scenes. There is a lot of work going on and there is a lot of analysis going on. So they continue to put the pieces together piece by piece, and there's this continual analytics almost like going on behind the scene. It's like, okay, where are we now? What do we need? What do we have to make? How do we have to make this stronger? And there's a lot of chatter about, they have everything they need. Why are they stalling? Just move forward, strike while the iron's hot. Well, part of the reason that that's not happening is because the Senate is not going to convict. The only way the Senate is going to convict is if enough of the story actually gets out now, slowly and carefully, but not dragging their feet, in order to start influencing, changing, public perception. Keep moving it up, ratcheting up that support, getting that support to grow. 55. Come on, can we say 60? Do we say 65? Like, it has to grow, okay? Because if it doesn't, there's a chance, I don't know how good a chance, but there is a chance that while McConnell has to bring it up onto the floor for a vote, it doesn't mean he's not constitutionally obligated to actually hold a hearing that lasts for a specified period of time. So it's very possible that this thing could get up there and then get sort of, stopped again by McConnell and his political maneuverings. And the only way that's sort of not going to happen is if enough people see what's going on and enough people start screaming at their senators to do the right thing. It's not enough to oppose the guy. They have to be vocal about it. They can't keep hiding in the back room saying, oh, the guy's an idiot, and then going on camera and saying, but he's perfect and everything he does is perfect. And besides, he's chosen. There has to be more public sort of buildup. So that's the strategy. They continue to find the stuff and talk to people and talk to witnesses and gather information. And there's a continual assessment going on about where we're at. And yes, it's really important that the Democrats do this and bring those articles of impeachment because they cannot allow the behavior to stand. I'm not saying they're not going to do that. They're absolutely going to do that. What they're trying to do, however, is get enough people on board, get the communications clear enough and loud enough so people who maybe were not so anxious to support the impeachment, or Republicans who really are not, that anxious, so that those people can start passing judgment, the citizens. And once the citizens start passing judgments, start telling their senators what they want, it puts the Democratic Party in a much stronger position. So, they worry. They worry about Trump's ability to sort of hold the narrative, right? I mean, they saw that with the Mueller report, is if things drag out too long, he has enough time to shape the narrative in a way that is not necessarily accurate or truthful, or even based in reality sometimes. So there is worry. They're very mindful of not taking too long. I think the current expectation is between sort of the U.S. Thanksgiving and the end of the year, and I agree with that sort of. That's energetically what it feels like to me. I'm thinking probably closer to Thanksgiving than the end of the year. But, those are just my energy impressions. So, but make no mistake, they continue to work hard. They've got their eye on the prize. And they're worried. Okay, this card is interesting because this card is sort of telling us that there is going to be more information coming to them from different points, literally in the world. So whether other governments start saying, oh yeah, and Trump approached us and Trump wanted this, I don't know. But it definitely feels like there's more information coming in. And again, could these be the additional whistleblowers? Possibly. Could it be other countries? Possibly. But it definitely looks like there is more information coming into center. And so that's a good thing. This is basically their burden, right? Perfect. Their burden is to get enough of the truth out there so that Trump can't spin it, right? So that there's all these facts that don't fit together. Because the more of that happens, frankly, the crazier he becomes, the more volcanic he becomes, and the more he says and does things that absolutely do not help his defense. And I mean, that's the, right now everybody's screaming about some procedural vote that has to take place. It does not have to take place. And so they're just trying to gum up the works. And the Democrats are very, very, so a couple of things, okay? The Lover's card represents the committees coming together, the people of the House Intelligence Committee, the House Finance, et cetera, all of them. They're all coming together and they're working together very closely as a team, as frankly is the vast majority of the Democratic Party. They are unified in this. They are determined to unearth enough secrets to bring down the devil. Just as simple as that. They need to find everything that they can in a short enough period of time that applies to the central issue of asking foreign powers for assistance in basically bringing down a potential political rival. Okay, that's the story. But they know that they have to sort of almost like beat him at his own game. Because while we focus a lot of times on how the devil, the persona of the devil, is evil, we sometimes forget that Lucifer, was one of the archangels. He was the chosen one. He was very special, and he was very handsome, and he had this really magnetic personality, and everybody was drawn to him. That's not complete. Okay, maybe aside from the handsome thing, but it's not dissimilar to what you're dealing with Trump, right? You're dealing almost like with a cult figure, and that is not an easy thing to kind of, knock down. But they're ready for the job. They're up for it, and they have the emotional support of the country. They have the support, the actual physical support in terms of polling numbers and actual numbers of people who were wanting this thing to come to an end. They want him out. They want him, restrained. They want this crazy to stop. And they're going to continue to move forward in a way, because of course this card's sitting right over the devil, right? So they're going to continue to move forward in a way that tightens and tightens and tightens the rope around Trump. The ties that bind him are they're going to continue to come out, and the Democratic people are going to continue to make the government work, keep the government working as well as it can, as efficiently as it can, because they need to change some minds in order to unite the country, at least enough of the country, so that things move forward in a much more, pleasant and hopeful way. In this instant, you're literally, the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Cups are brilliant, brilliant cards to have unless you're a politician. But in this case, it is representing the people of the United States, moving towards a place where there is more security, more stability, less emotional upheavals, and with a sense of satisfaction and pride, they once again will be able to look at their country. So that's what the Democrats are up to. But it energetically, it feels like really, really like a well-oiled machine. It feels like everybody has their job. Everybody is sticking to it. They are going to, continue working towards that, that which they're trying to accomplish. And I suspect, like Thanksgiving, maybe in that week where you're still, eating turkey sandwiches and whatever, but somewhere around Thanksgiving, there definitely looks as if there is going to be some movement there. Okay, so now I want to focus on the Republicans. They are so sneaky, and I stick very much with my energetic impression that Mitch McConnell is absolutely doing things to kind of get back at Trump for making a fool of him over that December budget. So there is some of that. And I guess it feels very much like it is a very definite strategy that the Republicans are waiting to see if the numbers fall, if Trump's approval numbers start falling, if the need to impeach starts increasing. They're waiting to see how many more stupid things the man can have fly out of his mouth and incriminate his own self. You know, there's a lot of talk about the Senate won't impeach, the Senate won't do it. I'm not actually convinced it won't. I'm not positive it will, but I'm not convinced that it's that cut and dry. It feels a lot more in flux than I think you kind of get the impression of when you're watching television. There's very definite, they will, they won't, and it's not that cut and dry. There's this real flux because they're aware of the fact that Trump is continuing to be erratic, and in fact, continuing to become more and more erratic. And you'll notice nobody is defending what he did. They're defending procedure. They're picking on, anonymous sources, which is not the same damn thing as a whistleblower. They're picking on things other than the substance because they cannot pick on the substance. He admitted to it. So let's take a look at what the GOP's what's going on with them. Seems to me that they're in a really precarious position right now. Okay, so Republican current strategy, Republican current strategy, Republican current strategy. Okay, so they really are in a much more sort of defensive posture than I think people realize. So this is the thing about the Republicans from an outside view as I watch them. Not all that different than the conservatives. There is a sense that they scream louder. They are a lot more footloose with the truth. They are in a position now of having to defend themselves, and they don't really have any good and positive way to defend themselves. They have completely relinquished the things that the Republican Party stood for because they are bowing to a king, okay? And why they're doing that? Well, they're doing that because they wanted, that tax thing to happen. They really wanted to bring down Medicare, but that didn't work for them. But, the other big win, of course, is all those judges. And so at some point, even they have to be thinking, how much more can we realistically get from this guy? Or should we actually get him out of office because we may not be able to salvage this party going forward. And in fact, I don't believe that they're going to be able to salvage it. There is so much hidden money. There is so much commerce, literally deals, dirty dealings, business dealings, hidden money, dark money. There's so much of it. That when this thing starts unraveling, they're really scared that they're actually going to all be exposed. And so there is that calculation. And And I think, part of it is honestly, in some ways, you almost think that they want Trump to just get a little nuttier, because maybe then when he actually starts blurting out the truth that he knows about, some of these people he has kept in his pocket, that they'll literally be able to stand there and say the man is insane. That is why we got him out of office. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me, okay? So there's a lot that they're trying to protect themselves from. That's not good, right? The 2 and the 3 back to back, because it really is talking about business dealings and overseas dealings and, non-domestic situations. So that's sort of not great, because there's a lot of it. And the more this goes, the longer this thing goes on, the more of it is going to come out. Yeah. There really is some strategy going on now as he continues to step in it. Their thinking is slowly changing, but it's changing, make no mistake, behind the scenes, okay? It is not something that we're going to see yet. What we are going to see, though, and have started to see, is the Fox network. There's my trump card. The Fox network slowly starting to rein in the "we love Trump" stories, the "Trump can do no wrong" stories. They have their news people now saying this was wrong. You even have some of the diehards saying, which frankly is a better strategy if they would all just say the same thing, which, I think it was Tucker Carlson or somebody said something to the effect of, he shouldn't have done what he did. That was wrong, but it's not impeachable. So already you can see, and I did think I said this like a little while ago, that Fox was going to start pulling back, because no one wants to back a loser. And as this continues to come out, that is exactly what Trump is going to be, the loser. So you see support being pulled from Trump, and you see the Republicans very slowly starting to creep back just a little, and that's good news. And, are they ultimately going to bring him down? Are they going to actually remove Trump from office? Honestly, at this point, with these two cards side by side, I could actually say right now it is still up in the air. It has not been decided. Going ahead with the impeachment inquiry, check. Having witnesses come in to sort of start explaining or fleshing out sort of the broad strokes of the investigation, check. Voting the articles of impeachment will happen. Going to the Senate for a hearing and what that looks like is still up in the air. So I'm certainly not capable of making a prediction, but we do have both of the Trump cards here. And I mean, they represent him perfectly, right? I mean, he is the king of greed and selfish and self-centered, and he's stupid. I mean, he's just a fool. And that's probably insulting some really cool fools out there. But, I don't think this is going to end well for Trump. I've been pretty clear about that. There comes justice. Hopefully justice will prevail. I think that is ultimately what's going to need to be decided. And, it looks good, but I'm not in a position to say it's, has been settled in terms of the universe, in terms of public demand, in terms of that which is, just going to unfold. I'm not really sensing sort of a definite, this is what is or is not going to happen. So for today, that is kind of the Democrat-Republican strategy as I'm picking up the energies. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, thank you so very much for your support. Private readings, there's information in the little box below. Your donations, your subscriptions, the likes, the comments are all brilliant, and I'm so grateful and so humbled by them. So until next time, Take care, be well, and I'll see you soon. Bye.